Fight fans, what a brilliant start to the year we have here at Sir Chatterlock Boxing. I've got a brilliant guest on, former boxer, now top trainer, Mark Tibbs. How are you doing, mate?
Lovely, thanks, Darren, and yourself. Sorry we didn't get this done a couple of days ago.
No problem at all. It's great to have you on, and I really appreciate your time. And I hope you had a very good Christmas and a happy New Year to you.
Likewise, Darren. Likewise, mate. Yeah, it was okay, mate. Can't complain.
That's good to hear, mate. Well, obviously, it's just under 2 weeks since we had the big fight card, Saudi, the main event. Obviously, we had Usyk versus Fury 2. First of all, I'd just like to get, obviously, an opinion from someone who's been there and experienced it. What is it like to experience the Saudi of what it's like?
No, it was. I was back. I was in Saudi, I guess, about 5 or 6 years ago with Dillian White when
Okay.
when Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz on the second fight. And so I was fortunate enough to have that experience, and it was great back then. The Saudi people were lovely people, great natured people, looked after us very, very well back then, and it was even better this time, obviously, because they've done many a show since then. But the Riyadh
Yeah.
season was a wonderful experience for all of my team this time out, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I can't. There's nothing bad I can say about it. It was a great experience, run perfectly well, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good, really good, really good.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the all the effort and the whole of the fight week that the Saudis do for it all, it's just, I mean, even me just watching on TV as a spectator, it's absolutely tremendous to watch. And going forward, long may it continue. Well, as regards the main event, which we'll come to first in Saudi, we had Usyk versus Fury 2. The scorecards of 116, 112 for Usyk being the winner. Did you see the fight like that, or did you see it different?
Well, see, straight after Johnny's fight, we had to go to the hospital for some. Johnny did. His mum wanted him to go to the hospital, get checked out, because he had a bit of a balance problem where he took
Okay.
a few shots in the ear hole, a few consecutive shots in the ear holes. So we got that checked out, and while we was in the hospital, we managed to watch the fight on an iPhone like this here. And it was about 8 or 10 of us around the iPhone. And what I saw of the fight, I made I made Fury, nick it, nick it.
Okay.
But I since watched it last night.
Okay.
And I still fancy. I still favoured Fury. Nicked that fight. The first 6 rounds was touch and go, but he boxed beautiful compared to the first fight. He boxed beautiful, and there were Usyk. Obviously, he had a good eighth, ninth, and 10th round, I think. But I still book Fury like edging the fight. I mean, he lost a few of them rounds, or drew them rounds. But it was a great performance, great defense by Tyson. Good
Yeah.
defense. But listen, Alexander Usyk is a masterful operator. So I'm not saying it was a bloody walkover, but
Yeah.
I fancied that the scoring was ridiculous, and Fury won. Fury won for me. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, this is the thing is this is boxing. It's a matter of opinions. I mean, I watched the fight live, and I had Usyk as the winner by a couple of rounds. But this is
yeah,
boxing. People see different things,
yeah,
and this
yeah,
is what's the beauty of the sport. I mean, I do agree with. I thought the scorecards of 116, 112 were totally wrong for me.
yeah, yeah.
I don't get those scorecards. The one thing I think we can both very much agree on, it was a very, very high skilled fight. Two
Absolutely.
brilliant heavyweights.
It was exactly that. He was very high skilled and great pace, and great pace. But I thought, no, I thought Tyson. I thought we boxed a great fight. I thought we could have. He pushed him back a little bit better, more this time than he did last time. But I felt we could have held his feet a little bit more even and pushed him back even more, even if it got a little bit ugly. But and Alexander Usyk again, he's he's always there. He's always there. Always finds a way. But no, I just think maybe because the scoring was really, really wide that my back went up
Yeah,
and favoured Fury. But no, I thought Fury done a marvellous job, and there's more life in him. When I thought there might not
yeah,
be, but there is more life in him. And yeah, if that AJ fight comes off, that's a great fight that the whole world's been waiting for many
yeah,
years. And
yeah.
yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I actually put this on social media today. I hate when you get fighters that lose one, two, three fights, and the term comes out done.
Yeah,
That's not the
yeah,
case in boxing. It's just when things like this come out in boxing, it does irritate me that people think and fans think that a fighter is done when they lose one or two or three fights. Just because they're not at the world
yeah.
championship level, it does not mean you are done. Well, what
No,
I'm going to come on to now is the next subject that I want to come on to, which is relative to overused terms. Your fighter, Johnny Fisher, fought Dave Allen on the undercard of Usyk and Fury. Johnny Fisher, first of all, how is he doing?
he's very well. He's in great spirits. He's on a family trip at the moment in Belgium, I believe, with his parents and his brothers, and maybe his sisters there too. But so yeah, no, he's in great spirits. He texts me from time to time, and he has done today. And yeah, I actually watched the full fight yesterday for the first time before the Fury fight, and
Yep,
I kept putting it off. I kept putting it off, to tell the truth, because well, just life gets in the way, Christmas, New
yep,
Year, and that. But I'm so glad I watched it because I felt even better about the fight. I felt he,
mm,
I felt he done marvelous. He done marvelous, and he had a great 4 rounds. I think he might have got
yep.
clipped in the end of the fourth or the fifth, put down in the
Fifth,
fifth,
fifth, yeah,
put down in the fifth. Yeah, so he certainly lost that round. But you know, you know, the exchanges like Dave's old man rough stuff, and I felt that maybe the referee could have had a strong word at times, but I was equally I was equally frustrated that Johnny never give it back to him in a dirty
yeah,
sort of way, to the
yeah,
truth. And but that's understandable because of his limited, pedigree. So he'll learn from that. He'll learn from that, and it wouldn't have gone amiss, or he wouldn't have been out of order if he played a bit of rough stuff himself,
yeah,
Johnny. But so I was a bit frustrated with that, and but no, I thought he boxed a lot better, and his body shots, Johnny Fisher's body shots, the way he whacked and placed them in twos
yeah,
and threes. I was a little bit on edge at the time while I was there because they seemed a bit far out, far out and going down low straight away without showing upstairs first. You know what I mean? I was a little bit worried about that, but when I watched it last night, I felt really, really felt better for watching it. You know what I mean? Felt better for watching it, and I
yeah,
thought Johnny did great, and the right man won. The right man won without taking nothing away from Dave. Dave, not
yeah,
without taking nothing away from Dave. Yeah, so great fight, great experience for Johnny Fisher, and great performance by the pair of them.
yeah. I totally agree. I mean, the metal that Johnny showed in that fight to keep going, he's never experienced that in that type of thing in a fight before. I thought he'd done really well to keep going the way he did. And he'll learn a lot from that fight, I believe. And obviously, you're his coach. You'll learn from any mistakes he made, take it forward. Um, great learning fight, and I think you'll probably look back in 4 or 5 fights time and say, do you remember that fight? How much you learned from that? And that's the beauty of this sport, how you can do that. But obviously, it was a controversial fight to a lot of people, where some people had it Dave Allen nicking it the other way, some people had it Johnny. It was a controversial in a lot of people's eyes. But there has been touts of the word used, robbery, and I don't see that in that fight. I've already done a show where I said I don't think that was a robbery. Do you think in boxing that robbery can be an overused term in quite a few fights?
Um, I don't think so, Darren. To be
Okay.
fair, you don't very often hear it, do you? Robbery, do you?
On social media, I've seen it quite a lot, probably in the last 12 months, but it's
Yeah.
more on social media where you see it. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I personally don't come across that a lot or hear that a lot. But you know, what was why I never rushed to watch the replay of the fight was, one, I heard Jamie Moore say immediately after the fight, it certainly weren't a robbery. You know,
mm,
perhaps that's what feedback he was getting, and that's why he said that. But it was nice and refreshing and class for him to say that
yeah,
publicly.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
so I never felt I had to watch the fight too quick, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
So when I watched it, as I say, yesterday, I thought it was. I was so glad I did, because you know, when you're in the moment in a in a fight where you've got a lot of expectations because the hard work you put in and
yeah,
the whole team have put in, we've got you know, I've got very high expectations of performances, and yeah, and a couple of things I wasn't pleased with from Johnny, but as I say, when I watched it, that was them. When I watched it yesterday, he done marvellous. He blocked a
yeah,
lot of them overhands by doing this. He countered. His counters will be better in the future from that fight. I promise you
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
he countered well. His little flurries he did. And yeah, no, it could have gone either way on the night in my head. But
yeah,
having watched it yesterday, I was over the moon. I was over the moon, and he deserved that victory, 100%.
yeah. Thank, sorry. Thanks for your honesty with that as well, Mark. I appreciate that. What I want to say as well is credit to both guys for an excellent heavyweight fight. It was very, very entertaining. Going forward, would you say you'd be looking for a sort of immediate rematch or another fight in between, maybe going for a rematch?
Well, the rematch come up. The rematch come up straight after. Also in the foyer of the hotel, amongst same our team and their team, and Johnny and Dave was giving an interview, and after such a a night of boxing like that, and when your fighter's gone to war like that, I was like, my initial reaction was, listen, it depends what you want, Johnny. It's all up to Johnny at the end of the day. But if you asked him my advice, yeah, do you want to look at the short game or the long game? Yeah. So Johnny Fisher's 25 at the moment, and if he loves his boxing like he says he does, there's a future in boxing, and I would advise him to have a fight before that, at least before an immediate rematch with Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
yeah, yeah,
said before in other interviews that going back to the Alan Babbage fight when Johnny blew Alan away in a round. We had a press conference after, and Eddie mentioned Dave Allen, and I agreed with him straight away. Absolutely, I agreed with him straight away. But we already had plans of this Australia away day directly after Babbage fight, I believed at the time. You know what I mean? So
mm,
so I thought the Allen fight was maybe spring summer 2025.
okay,
Yeah, so that was where my head process was, my thoughts was, and anyway, obviously, Johnny's management got a great offer, an offer they couldn't refuse from the Saudi people,
Yeah,
and the fight happened sooner. So that's how it
yeah,
happened. I'm glad Johnny took it. I'm glad Johnny fought the way he fought, and would have liked to, wouldn't like him to cross legs at times and lose his shape a little bit, but he was up against a seasoned professional in Dave Allen, and we come out and got the victory. So,
yeah,
everyone needs a bit of luck from time to time.
yeah, and that's the main thing. You got the W. That's the main thing. You move on. You go on. You learn from that fight, and I strongly believe you 4 or 5 fights time you look back at that fight and say that was a fantastic learning curve.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
sticking with the
I'm not
heavyweights.
sure. I'm not sure if I answered the question properly there, because I run away with things in my head. But so if a rematch was to come up and it all made sense, I'm sure that both fighters would welcome and embrace that. And same again. I think people know how we operate, how we think, and let's see what happens regarding
Yeah.
a rematch. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that. Staying with the heavyweights, Daniel Dubois, you briefly trained him, had a little stint with Daniel Dubois. Obviously, he defends his world titles against Joseph Parker in February. Just looking for a quick opinion on that fight. Who do you think will win?
Well, that's a great fight. It's a real good
Yeah,
50-50. And Daniel's form of late, I say, in his last fight anyway, was was phenomenal for fight fans, and obviously for him and his team. I
yeah,
think Don Charles has done a great job with him in whatever he's done to his mind and his brain. He's certainly turned it around, and that makes him a dangerous operator, because he can punch that man, and he's fast
yeah, yeah,
and very, very determined, very
yeah,
determined. But Josie Parker as well. He's looking lovely and fluid. He's looking really, really good under Andy Lee,
yeah,
who I respect very, very much. And he come through that Zilly Zhang fight. Zhang. He come through
Zhang,
Zhang.
yeah,
Yeah, he come through Zilly Zhang fight. Tremendous. I never thought he would, because that man's a big man that can punch,
yeah,
and he's a real natural, fluid
yeah,
fighter, southpaw, hard
yeah,
puncher, correct. And he was struggling at mid range, not mid range, at mid fight. He was struggling. So man's got a heart as well, and that's a great fight. That's a fight I can't really, obviously I've backed Daniel Dubois because of being a Brit,
yeah.
but that is something I can't.
Okay.
Difficult to pick a winner.
Yeah, I think it is a real 50-50 fight. I mean,
Absolutely.
if I was going to pick a winner now, I would probably just be favouring slightly Joseph Parker on points. I would probably go, but I totally agree with you. It's a
Hmm.
50-50 fight, and I don't think anyone would be that confident in picking a winner in that fight.
No.
So that's fair enough. Um, Going on to some of your fighters now, your cruiserweight, you've got John Hedges. Do you have any fight updates for us?
John's been in today. I've seen him periodically over the Christmas period. He's been doing some S&C work with Sonny Cannon. Excuse me, and I've started to do some punching with him today, and I'm hearing he should be out in March. So yeah, looking
Okay.
forward. He's a very super skilled southpaw, and
Yeah.
he's moved up to cruiser now, and that's going to suit him very, very much, I believe.
Yeah.
And he fights like Tyson Fury. He's like a young Tyson Fury. He's got the
Yeah.
skill
Definitely.
set of a Tyson Fury. I really,
Yeah.
really, really, really like John, and he can go all the way, John. And Yeah, so he's had a couple of hand injuries,
Yeah.
problems, which he's had surgery and been dealt with. So but it was very positive today. Started breaking his bit of punch output in today. Yeah,
Okay,
but
great
March,
stuff.
looking at March.
Okay, great. Also, Tommy Fletcher, who your cruiserweight, he suffered his first defeat last time out. Um, when is there any ideas when he'll be back in action?
Yeah, Tom as well. Tom. Oh, man's such an hard puncher, but an
Yeah.
explosive puncher, but very disappointed in his last fight, in his defeat, and he did get beat. He got beat on points, and it was a disappointing performance. And I got a lovely text from him yesterday saying really positive text from him, and he should be looking at a date in February. So looking at he's got to come out, and he's got to set the world alight. He's got to
Yeah.
wipe the floor clean with who is in front of him. He's got to
Yeah.
yeah, that man. He's a honestly. I've said it before, but the man can punch, and such a waste of talent if you don't get measure and put him into place straight away, as in detonate his weapons.
Yeah. Well, going on to one of your other super talents you've got, which he's already got a date, which will be, I believe it's on the next gen card of the Matchroom show. Giorgio Vizioli, another exciting talent. He's got the fight date. Does he have an opponent yet?
Yeah, there's an opponent penciled in, I believe, and we're sparring around that name and around that style. But I'm not too sure if it's been announced yet, so it's unfair for me to say.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
he's had decent opponents on his building him as a professional. He's a super skilled fighter. I'll tell you what, he really is mustard. And we've been to while I was in Saudi, I left him in the hands of the gym owner, Kevin, and who was overseeing a bit of sparring for me. I've come back since, and I've had about two or three more spars, two more spars with him, and I've had to ease him up because he's looking that good. He was when he first started professional boxing with myself. He was very rigid, bodily rigid, and
Yeah.
need, needed to increase on his mobility. But I've put little things like that in his head. Well, I've told him, listen, you got to make yourself more nimble, more mobile, and he's done exactly that. He's a real professional, and he's going to look good on the 31st of January at the O2 Indigo.
Mm,
I know that he's yeah, good fighter, Giorgio Vizioli, absolutely. He's got it all. He's a good boxer. He can punch a bit, not a
yeah.
bit. He's
Yeah.
fast. He's fast. He can punch a little bit. He's fast as well, but he's got the IQ. He's got the brain. Very good,
Mm.
very good.
Well, in the past, obviously, you've had some, brilliant, well-established fighters. Just to name a few names: Dillian White, Billy Joe Saunders, Frank Buglioni. Now you've got these young, exciting prospects. Is this sort of like the way you're looking to go in the future, or you open to getting some well-established names back again?
Well, yes, I've always got my ears open to good fighters and that. And a few years back, before this Saudi thing started, I had a couple of Saudi fighters that approached me, and they're up and running now over in Saudi. But
Oh, brilliant!
you know, I have a family here, and I couldn't. I've got my life's here in London, and
Yeah.
my business and whatnot. But no, listen, any fighters, I'm always open to work with good talent. Yeah, in the future for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, well, like I said, those three fighters that I've mentioned there, I just feel like there's some really exciting futures for them, and like particularly Giorgio Vizioli, you just mentioned.
thank
He's fighting at the end of January. Is there any other fighters that you want to mention on while we're on
you.
here?
Yeah, I'm working with a guy called Finley James. He's out of West Ham.
Okay.
He's a pretty decent amateur fighter. He's a light welterweight. He's having his sixth professional fight on the 9th of February on the Johnny Clark show in Brentwood. He's a real tricky, awkward southpaw, tall and rangy, and yeah. So he's been in the gym a while now, but there's something about him. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm still working with him, and he's coming along nice. I've got to say, Finley James, the captain,
Finley
they call him.
James.
Finley James,
Okay.
yeah. So 9th of February on the Johnny Clark show at in Brentwood in Essex. He's having his 6th or 7th pro fight. He's fighting in a 50-50 fight, and yeah, if he does what he does best, he will look $1 million.
Okay. Well, that's a fantastic way to end the show, talking about your fighters with their fights coming up. I wish them all the luck, Mark, and I wish you all the luck as well. And thanks for coming on the show. To get someone like you on the show just means such a lot to me, mate, honestly.
Thank you very much, Darren. All the best, mate. I appreciate that, mate. Good man.
And we'll talk soon, mate. Cheers. Thanks a lot, mate.
Take care, Darren.
Cheers.
God bless,
Cheers,
mate.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
We pull no punches. Press the button, subscribe.